Reggie Barlow is the head coach for Tennessee State University.
You ready, Coach?
Yeah, we on, Coach. We on. I'm just letting it run.
Where the music at?
Oh, that's, man. I done it again, Coach. Hold on. Let me get it right.
Yeah, you gotta let the folks get in.
We do let them know that we in here. I'd like to welcome everybody to HBCU Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Rocky Miller, along with my co-host, Mr. Stephen Campbell, the Rattler himself. And for our featured host, the SWAC legend, the SIAC Coach of the Year, the SWAC Coach of the Year, and the SWAC champion, none other than my man, Johnny Cole.
I hope I didn't overpay you for that introductory.
Oh, God. Hey, Coach, we working on. Hey, Coach, we working on what? 5 days in a row, 6 days in a row, almost.
Look, we working on fumes, Coach. But we gotta get this information out to our folks, man.
Absolutely.
Our audience. I always start off and saying, man, appreciate it, man. After 1 year, Coach, over 200 views. 2 million views, and you can't say enough about it's because of the people who tune in to us, and hopefully we bringing great information, great content to them. And we got a very, very special guest today. A friend of mine, go way back. We actually played him when I was at Texas Southern as a coach, and man, I remember, we were having a big game against them, and we score, and the lights went out, the stadium lights, the scoreboard, and everything, and they were going on to win the national championship that year. So who I want to introduce you to is an Alabama State guy. He's a pro, got drafted in the fourth round, 110 pick. To the Jaguars. He played with the Jaguars, the Raiders, and the Buccaneers. And you guys know how I feel about these pro coaches. And I wouldn't say he's won. He's learned. He went to Alabama State, came back to Alabama State, and got started working as the quarterback coach there. Eventually taking over as the head football coach, and actually took him to a SWAC championship. Of course, he came up against his friend, and unfortunately, he fell short, but he won an East Division championship as well. He's been a head coach at the DC team out of Washington in the XFL.
Defenders.
Yeah, the Defenders, as well as the USFL. He's 83-58 as a head coach. He went to Virginia State where he won the CIAA over there, and he's been a part of a Black College National Championship. Man, I could go on and on and on. My friend in the new head coach of the Tennessee State Tigers, Reggie Barlow.
Man, how about it? How about it? About it.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. How about that introduction there, bro? Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you my Zelle number.
Yeah, I got to send you a cash out and your cash. Yeah.
Coach, man, how you doing, boy? I tell you, man, you sure bounce around. In the last 7 years, you went from state to Virginia State to DC Defenders, and who knows, man, you back here at Tennessee State, close to home, at a Blue Bread program, where we always say is those top programs. How you feeling, Coach?
Man, I'm good, man. As you mentioned, we've been bouncing around, and sometimes you being fired, bro, it hurts, it breaks your spirit and all that stuff, man. But I know this may sound crazy, but me being fired there was probably one of the best things that ever happened, man. I got a chance to go to a whole new area in life on the East Coast out in Virginia. I was closer to my kids to see them grow up and do all that stuff. And then, of course, being at Virginia State, it allowed me to get the DC job, the DC head job, and then, of course, over here, man. So just really proud, happy to be at Tennessee State. Like you mentioned, man, Blue Bread program, wonderful program, great history, tradition. You guys are a part of that. So just happy to be here, really happy.
Yeah. One of the things, Coach, just to tell our audience, getting fired in football, coach, is a part of it. One to get hired, one to get fired. You always been on both sides of that, so that ain't no major thing. Sometimes you can do things right and get fired. So,
we've seen that. We've seen a lot of coaches get let go with a record way better than 500. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, and I always say let's be better by it and not bitter. And we've obviously moved on and still support our university and all that stuff, man. And just happy to be here at this place, which is a great place. I thought I knew the history of HBCU football, but until I got here and being on this campus, I've never seen anything like this, man.
Yeah. One of the things, Coach, you've bounced around, you've been in different leagues. You are a winning football coach. You've won everywhere you've been. You hadn't fallen short on the other side. You've won. Is it some philosophy that you have? Is it some that that you have that when you come into a program, and each program has been different. You took over an Alabama State program that was pretty much going in the right direction. You didn't have to dig it out. And then Virginia State, of course, is they kick a lot of ass up in there.
Yeah.
Get in there and keep that going, and then starting in the XFL from ground up.
Yeah.
But in each one of those situations, you've been good at it.
Yeah, Johnny, it really starts with populating yourself with good people. And we were able to bring on a good staff at every spot that we've been on. And those staff members are guys who are knowledgeable. They have great experience. And we live this thing, the Dash. They've been Paul revering my message, our message to our players, making sure that they hear it loud and clear. The same way Paul Revere did it when he went in town. The Indians are coming, and the Indians is just keep repeating our message to our student athletes. And we've been blessed to have good coaches, but that's what it's really about. I think it's the people that we've been blessed to hire and bring along with us has allowed us to have the success. And then, of course, the players. I mean, you can't win games unless you can get players. And I think the guys also that we've had have been able to really recruit well and do a good job for us.
Yeah, speaking of some of the coaches that you've had on your staff, Fred Keiss was XFL Offensive Coordinator of the Year. You had Harris. Now he's the Coach of the Year in the XFL. Now you got Toriano Morgan, who's been outstanding as well. So yeah, when you say you've had some great people around you, and I really truly believe it's not just the head coach, it's definitely the support staff. Like I got two guys here that now, I don't know if you heard, Barlow, that we had 2 million viewers last year, and we just had now started. So I get that.
Man, listen here. I heard you say 2 million, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that is a lot of people, man, which means you guys are doing a great job. The information that you guys are getting out about HBCU football is good. And like you said, you got to have a strong team as well. You mentioned Torian Morgan, Mr. 180, man. I'm so happy that guy decided to come and be a part of our staff. Shannon Harris and I, we shook hands and said, hey, I'm leaving. We're going to set this up so you can be the head coach of the UFL. Own that thing, run that thing, man. But come help us in this first season. And he agreed to that. He stuck to that. He's been doing a great job, man. Great communicator, passionate about the game, and really a good offensive mind. And, it's just to get those two guys together who know each other, have a relationship with each other. And then, of course, Russ Arnfield, who's has been at Tennessee State, maybe 4 different occasions. So offensively, man, we got some really good guys that know how to dial it up. Some guys that really respect ball, respect each other, and absolutely love investing in young men. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, I want to take you back for a minute because I don't know if everybody know that you actually coached Tavaris Jackson, who ended up getting drafted, and if you don't know who Tavaris is, he played with the Minnesota Vikings in Seattle as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And unfortunately,
also Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota, yeah.
Right. And unfortunately, he lost his life. But one of the things about our show, Reggie, is just getting information out about HBCU schools, coaches, and about African American coaches, and that's a tribute to you as well, coaching one of the best that came out of HBCUs.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, man. Obviously, he got there by way of the cold-blooded crew. So, man, it was crazy. Charlie Cole called me, and he was like, hey, I got a quarterback position, and, you can bring him. And obviously, I hadn't coached quarterbacks and all that type of stuff, but I think he trusted me as a manager of a guy who is extremely passionate, extremely talented. And Tavares and I, we grew up in Ridgecrest. We went to Bellingraph. We went to Lanier. So it's like we trained together because when I was in the league, that's who I came and he would throw to us. So it wasn't a whole lot of, it was more managing, right? I wasn't teaching technique. I told someone the other day, when he would ask me about, hey, coach, what you think about my feet right there? I was like, how did it feel? It felt all right to you. It's good for me, buddy. Yeah. Just don't mess this guy up. And I think the only thing that we might have, just the mental game. Tavares was a strong personality, and getting to the sideline and not being combative with him, but embracing, hey, what did you see here? Good job on this. Good job on this. How about this play right here? What do you think about that? And we just had a lot of respect for each other, obviously, because we was homeboys and all that stuff. And but yeah, I mean, this guy, after McNair and this whole era, Tavares is the highest drafted quarterback from an HBCU. The last one, we haven't had a guy drafted higher than him. And, the guy played 10, 11 years. His only goal was to play longer than me. That's all he wanted, and he did that. we had a friendship that was big brother, little brother, man. Missed that guy. And, we still try to stay in contact with his kids and his family. And little TJ, he's playing baseball over in Prattville. So we're always looking to help and, be involved in his life as well as Tyson.
Yeah, I remember recruiting him, and he wanted to go to Arkansas. And I said, Lars, do you understand that you're going to be the first black quarterback in the history to play over in Arkansas? And, and he was hell bent on it. I said, well, if it don't work out for you, you got a spot back at home. So, and I'm saying that to say I had an opportunity to coach him in the spring. And when you were saying that combative part about him, strong personality, that was kind of, to me, his Achilles heel in a way.
Yeah.
But guy like you coming in, y'all walk the same path, y'all can share those same ideals. You can kind of talk him off the cliff, and you did a great job of it. They went to the SWAC championship twice and won one and lost one.
I'll tell you what, Johnny, to you and LC credit, I was playing for the Buccaneers at the time. I get a call from Keldrick Williams, and he's like, "Hey, it's Keldrick. You know how Keldrick is, a little laid back." He's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about going to Alabama State. Like, tell me about your experience playing at home, playing at Alabama State." And the same way with Tavaris. So kind of like had a conversation. I said, "Bro, are you kidding me? You get a chance to go play for these legends, these guys who won. You from the Gump, everybody's going to be, tailgating and coming back." And both of those guys came and did a great job at Alabama State. And Keldrick was a dude, man. He was a dude.
Yeah. Coach, last thing, of course, it's about you, but, we're going to get into the team. Man, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Man, you HBCU coach, you played in the Super Bowl, coach.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And you've been part of the Black College National Championship team, CIAA championship, 3 SWAC East championships, man. You would be considered a championship coach. And we were talking about Blue Bread programs,
Yeah.
And then, one of our audience viewers said, well, Alabama, and I'm like, man, you comparing apples and oranges. This would make those schools great. When they lose a coach, they go hire another championship coach. They don't experiment at those places. Grambling didn't experiment when Eddie Robinson left. They brought in Doug Williams, and of course Melvin Spears behind Doug Williams, and Jackson State. They kept that string along, That's to me what make Blue Bread, because they bring a guy in there that see it, know it, how it tastes, how it look. He knows where the restroom at. He comes in and gets straight to the football, and they're able to keep that string going along for a while. You one of those guys, coach. And did being in the Super Bowl, you've been under great coaches. Kind of talk about some of that.
Yeah, I think my coaching style is based off of 3 coaches that I played for. Houston Markham. Coach Markham was going to work you, man. He just believed you got to work. You got to outwork your opponent, and that's just it. And that's running, conditioning, being in better shape than them, and being able to last longer than them. Obviously, we can't run guys the way that Coach Martin ran us. We can't run guys like we ran them back in the day. But we still try to get as much out of them from a conditioning standpoint, because fatigue, and he used to say this all the time, fatigue will make a coward out of you. It'll make you think you don't like football if you're tired. So that part of our coaching style is from Coach Martin. The other part is the genuine enthusiasm, the communication, and all that stuff is John Group. Just great energy when you're presenting to the team, code words to make those guys be able to trigger in their head, developing your own language when they can finish your sentence, coming from him. And not that Coach Martin was a great communicator as well, but I'm just saying that's part of that I've gotten from John Gruden, the genuine enthusiasm. And then Tom Coughlin is just the attention to detail, touch all lines. Don't put your head on a pillow until you've made sure everything has been checked off. You've done it the right way. Don't make it close when we're running sprints and gassers and we're talking about hands behind the line. Don't make it close. Don't let the referee make a decision on you because you made it close and now you put it in his hand, right? So stay back, because that correlates to lining up in the neutral zone. So that was Tom Coughlin, John Gruden, and then, of course, Houston Markham. It's kind of like our coaching philosophy that we've tried to do. And it's been in my own personality, right? I can't be those guys. I have to be me and, kind of have fun with it. Make sure the guys, this experience, the best time of my life, and I know you mentioned I played in the Super Bowl, played in the NFL, but the best time of my life was in college from 91 and 95 at Alabama State. My closest friends and people that I reach out to were my college guys. I still talk to my pro guys, Keenan McCardell, Keyshawn Johnson, Warren Sapp, a few other guys, but the best time of my life was in college, and that's what I wanted to be for our student athletes, and that's our approach. And there again, our coaches do a great job of Paul revering the stuff that I say in our staff meeting, and then the stuff that we say in our team meeting. So if there again, populate yourself with good people will allow you to have the success that you want, and we're grateful to be able to have the guys that we have.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to my guys, Coach. You know, they don't done their homework on you, baby.
Yeah.
I already know they don't done their homework on you.
Hey, you gotta know it, right? You gotta know your opponent.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna make your move. Well, Coach, listen, I'm gonna say this. You see, I got the background in the background.
Roar City.
Yeah, so one of the things I want people to know, I'm super excited for you to be on. Remember your career, both college and pro. But one of the things too, and I think I told you this, my first cousin is a professor at Texas Southern. Oh my God, Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Tennessee State, don't kill me. Tennessee State. So I had to represent, got the colors on and everything. So I wanted to just bring that out. Now, Coach, one of the things, okay, first of all, wait a minute. Tell me about this T-shirt. Is there a story about that T-shirt, about this Dashville? Before I get to these players, tell us about this T-shirt, Coach.
I mean, I appreciate you sharing that, and I appreciate you having the backdrop with TSU back there. But you know, obviously Tennessee State is in Nashville, and we talk about our players and our coaches is live the dash is what's been our philosophy and our mantra since we've been a head coach. So we put it on the T-shirt. It's Dashville. The D is for discipline, doing what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, when you're supposed to do it, ultimately when no one's watching. The A is for attitude, having a positive and conquering attitude, because there will be another A, and that's adversity. What will you do to overcome adversity? So if you keep a positive attitude, you'll be able to overcome it. The S is what I love. The S is for sacrifice. Each of us need all of us. We will ask you to sacrifice for the sake of the team, for the sake of the community, for the sake of the university. The first H is habits. At some point, we all going to put our hands up and we're going to say champions on 3. But what do our habits say? We're going to say win on 3. But what do our habits say? And if you understand win, W-I-N, that's what's important now. Or you're taking care of what's important now. And then the last H, after having all of those things, what's your heart like? Do you care about team? Do you care about the community? Do you care about your coaches? Do you care about support staff? And we've been living this and preaching it until it become ingrained in our student athletes' body and ingrained in our coaches' body. And then, like we said, we're Paul Revere that message all the time. Hey, man, that wasn't the D. That wasn't discipline just then. That wasn't having a positive attitude. And part of having a positive attitude is your body demeanor, right? There's times you can be on the field that says, come whoop my ass some more. That's not what we want to be about. We want to have positive body language, and we want to have positive and conquering attitude. So here we go. We Dashville.
So, you know, I love that, because not only are you preaching the message, they're wearing the shirt to remind them of the message. And I think that, I think that means a lot when you reinforce it, because things, Coach, you know this. You're a great player. You're a great coach. Coach Cole, a lot of times it's not about the physical. Sometimes it's about the mental.
Yeah.
And just understanding what your position is and what you're supposed to do. Are you mentally focused? And I think each one of those, because now that's an acronym, each one of those letters represent the focus that you want your team to have. So I think that's just an outstanding message. I'm going to make sure that we put that in the chat so people can understand. Now, Coach, now listen now. Coach, I think I told you before, I'm the fundraiser on it. Now, we selling these shirts and we need to get, are we selling the shirts? Or
let's get them sold. We can do
it. Okay, so listen. All right, my Tennessee State folks, I know y'all got a shirt print up there. Get with Coach. Let's get those shirts going. I know Coach trying to raise money for NIL, for all types of things. So, Coach, I'm gonna talk to you on the background, because I'm going to put you with somebody I know that does that business. Because, man, first of all, it's just the symbolism is just dope. You know what I mean? So that's what I even like about it. So then when you learn the background of it, I think it's just amazing. So, Coach, I love that. Now, Coach, one of the things I always talk about with the coaches, I always want to go over the recruiting that you have and some of your star players. Now, Coach, one of the things that I found out is that you had a lot of turnover. You got 5 guys that are coming back that have been on the previous team. And I kind of want to talk about some of these guys, and you tell me why they stayed. Why do you believe in them? And they're on the watch list for OVC. So people believe that these are going to be some of your star players. So, Coach, I'm going to start with one. Anthony Smith, your offensive lineman. Tell us about him. What have you learned about him? What do you think you're going to expect for him to be a leader?
Yeah, Anthony Smith is he's a dude. He's a leader. He's been a guy that has helped lead this team. Obviously, last year, he's helped lead them now. when we got here, he was one of those guys that, you know, he has the respect and the ear and the mind of his teammates. They respect him. They know what he stands for. And he's a solid football player, extremely tough. Played last year, obviously, and helped him win the championship. He can play guard. He can play center. A Florida kid. And we're just happy to have him on the team, man. He don't say a whole lot, but when it's time for him to talk, I mean, he has the respect and the command, not just of the O-line room, but of his entire teammates.
Coach, your next guy that you got on OVC watch list is your tight end, Jason. And is that Holt? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Jason Holt, yeah.
Holt. So talk about him and what is Jason bringing to the table, especially looking at what you run in the offense, kind of look at what you think. This is a guy that I think could be big in your offense. So what are you looking to get from him?
Yeah, I love Jason. Extremely mature and extremely smart football player. He's had an injury or two during training camp, but started doing some stuff today. He's reliable. You can count on him. We talk about the best ability is accountability. He's a guy that you definitely can account and depend on. We like to run 12 personnel. We will do some 13 personnel. We got 3 tight ends, and he adds value to us at the tight end position, as well as being able to help us out on special teams. Extremely mature guy, great grades, and I'm happy that he's on our team.
Now, Coach, one of the things that I was amazed, we talked to Coach Mickey Joseph, and he talked about his punter being a leader. Coach, you got a punter that is on the all-watch team. Now, hey, Mark, and is it Shanunda? Mark Shanunda?
Yeah, yes.
Now, that is pretty impressive, Coach. And again, you being a coach, you know how punt the special teams is in the punting game, flipping that field. I'm pretty impressed. Whenever I see a punter, I want to know, what makes your punter going to be potentially all conference?
Yeah, Mark has an NFL leg. He's been doing a great job for us in camp. Did a great job in the summertime and OTAs and that stuff. A lot of punts now, you got to be directional. You don't want to let the punt returner catch the ball in the middle of the field. And Mark has been able to put that thing over there on the numbers for us so we can pin the punt returner in there. So smart guy. His teammates respect him. He's done it on the college level over the last few years. And obviously, we're dependent on him to have a really solid year, really good punter for us.
Now, Coach, one of the guys that I'm looking at, and I think is going to have a big year for you, your linebacker, Sammy Taylor. What do you think about Sammy? What do you believe he's going to do? And I think he's going to be a head knocker for you.
So I really love Sammy. Sammy has great length. You're talking about a guy that's probably 6'3" and a half. He's long. And, he's going to do some positive things for us. He can cover. He's physical. He can rush off the edge. Today at practice, he got a pick 6 and a 4-minute drill, which is huge when you're talking about 4-minute situational football. Offense is trying to keep the ball, run it. But he was able to get a pick in that drill, and really was a big play for him. So we're looking forward to him having some real good success.
Now, Coach, you're a wide receiver, so you know the position. Now, your last guy who didn't play last year because of injury, I believe, Juice Major. Now, Coach, are you personally coaching him and saying, hey, listen, I know this position, and I'm going to get you to be potentially All-American, All-Conference guy? Talk about Juice and what he's bringing to him.
I tell you what, one, as a former receiver, that's the last position I go and look at. I'm usually looking at O-line, D-line. We have Nick Andrews that played for us at Alabama State, who's an amazing coach. And his game was real similar to Juice. Juice is a guy that I really love and care about. He has been lights out in camp. I hadn't seen him drop a pass in camp. So just a guy that we're real happy about, happy that he's back this year, ready to rock and roll, and he's been having a really good camp, and we look forward to him being able to go out and compete at a high level. Now,
Coach, one last thing. I'm looking at your recruiting. Tell us about when you looking at far as, because it looks like you tell us how many guys did you bring in? Because I saw 6 guys that I saw listed, but I know you brought in more guys than that. And also, what is your philosophy for bringing in portal guys? What are you looking for? Because I think for a lot of people, a lot of coaches have now started to understand what the portal means, what kind of guys they're looking for. They're not saying, oh, because he went to a Power 5, let me just grab him. So what is your philosophy? And did you bring any freshmen that you're going to say, hey, I'm going to mentor these guys, bring them in and be part of that Big Blue tradition?
Yeah, Coach Campbell, we had a different setup. We didn't get here until April, which means the last staff, Eddie George and his staff, they had already signed a class of probably about 11 to 13 guys, and they're true freshmen. I must give Eddie and his staff credit. There's probably 6 of those true freshmen that they're going to play a whole bunch. I mean, they can play. We got receiver Jayden Guy. We have Devon. His last name is slipping me right now, but he's a receiver. Slaughter is his last name, and then we got some D tackle guys that will probably play. So our recruiting this time was a little different than what it'll be moving forward, because we had 48 guys on the roster when we got the job, because it was either seniors that left or there was a good bit of transfer guys that had gotten the transfer portal and they were looking to go to other places. Of course, we tried to recruit those guys back for, extended period of time. And then our focus went to focus on the guys that stayed and then bringing in new guys. So we had 40 some guys when we got here. We're about 98 right now. I credit Coach Meshach. He was our recruiting coordinator. He did a good job of being organized and structured and getting these new guys here for trips. We only had maybe 3 coaches, myself, Coach Seth Thornton, Greg Williams was here, and then of course Meshach, and then Russ. And we just hammered it, man. It was a challenging thing, but we made it work. We were able to add to the roster at every position, and now it's about gelling these guys together where we're all speaking the same language, and that's the Tennessee State Tiger language. And we're looking forward to keep working, keep grinding, and moving forward, we won't heavily rely on the transfer portal, but we will sprinkle in transfer portal guys. I think there's a lot of high school guys out there that can play football, love football. So we will recruit high school guys. We will sprinkle in transfers as needed.
Well, Coach, I think, as you say, it's such short notice, but the one thing, and I think Coach Cole has talked about it, you have an outstanding coaching staff, which is going to be able to coach those guys up. So the one thing, we all know those guys are going to be prepared. So I'm super excited what you do for the season. I'm going to swing back, let Rocky jump in, but I am going to ask you a couple of things because I'm curious about your schedule and some of the HBCUs that, again, traditionally you're going to be able to play. So I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit about the schedule a little bit later on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Coach. We're going to let me do a public service announcement here. We're about to suspend the stream on OffScript. And I've put the link in the description to the Rocky Miller page, the home of the HBCU Coaches Corner. I'm gonna suspend it. We have a very special guest for Coach Barlow. Coach Barlow and I have a friend in common, and I wanted to bring this special friend on because he's a really huge fan of Coach Barlow. Somebody Coach Barlow will recognize right off the bat. So I wanted to bring him in at this time.